11 p.m., same corner, buttered toast. Third night straight, then the phone rings. She almost let it go straight to voicemail. Some part of her already knew, because this was the fourth time this happened. Her name is Marta, Lisbon, the kind of person who doesn't chase signs. But she started writing it down, just the date, just what she'd eaten. Sometimes a single word about how the kitchen felt. Cold, still, waiting. Entry 1, the night before her father's diagnosis. Entry 2, the night her 10-year friendship ended. Same toast, same counter, almost to the minute. By entry 4, she stopped calling it luck. Here's the strange part. She's not the only one. Search any forum on intuition. Same confession, nearly identical words. One craving. Always right before something breaks, not junk food, the exact same dish every single time. A woman in Ohio craved cold orange juice at 2 a.m., 3 nights before divorce papers arrived. She said the glass had to be the same one, straight from the freezer, condensation already forming before she'd even poured it. A man in Manila couldn't stop reaching for his mother's rice pudding every time, right before the layoffs hit. He hadn't made it himself in years. Someone else always brought it, unprompted, the same week. A teenager in Texas needed pancakes at midnight twice, both times before her parents sat her down for bad news. She told her therapist it felt less like hunger and more like her hands moving on their own. Different food, different continents, same eerie timing. So what's actually going on here? Stress researchers have a name for it: interoception. Your brain reads your heart rate and gut tension before you notice anything's wrong. Here's the twist. That signal doesn't always feel like fear. Most people miss it completely because it doesn't arrive as dread. It arrives as a craving. Bracing doesn't look like panic. It looks like reaching for something warm, something that once felt safe. Some numerologists go further. They'll tell you a food eaten at the same hour, night after night, starts to carry its own number. A number that means home. When something's about to shift, they say your energy grabs the nearest anchor, right before it lands. Take it or leave it. But Marta didn't need the theory. She needed to know what the toast meant. For her, it was her grandmother's kitchen, butter melting on warm bread, the last steady memory before her parents split. The radio always on in the next room, low, so no one could hear the arguing through the wall. Her body wasn't asking for food, it was asking for the safety it remembered. If this is already hitting close to home, tap like right now. It puts this in front of someone who's living it tonight without a name for it yet. Here's where it turns. Marta stopped trying to predict bad news. She started using the craving to test her own signal. Every time it hit, she asked one question: what's actually sitting underneath this? Almost every time something was already there. A tension she hadn't named, a call she'd been avoiding for days. One night, the craving hit at 9, 2 hours early. She sat with it instead of eating. Underneath was a message she'd been dreading from her landlord. The craving wasn't predicting the future. It was surfacing what she already knew, just quieter than words. There's a real biological reason for this. The gut has its own nervous system. Scientists call it the second brain, and it reacts to stress before conscious thought does. Every tradition that studies intuition keeps landing on the same discovery. The body speaks first. Rarely a vision, usually a craving instead. Sometimes it's a chill down your arm. Sometimes it's exhaustion out of nowhere, right before your phone buzzes. Marta tried something new. She started eating the toast the moment the craving hit instead of waiting. Those nights, she said, the news landed softer, like she'd already made room for it. She's not claiming it changed the outcome, just how hard it hit. So think about your own kitchen. Is there one food that only shows up on your hardest nights? Not your favorite meal, the one you reach for without deciding to eat. Write it down. Track the hour. Track what happens after. Let the pattern do the talking, not your fear. Marta's notebook kept filling. 3 years of entries. Here's the twist nobody expects. 2 entries came before good news. A job offer, a reunion with an old friend. The craving wasn't a curse. It was a signal that something big was arriving. The toast stopped feeling like a warning bell. It became something arriving with news, not against her. If you've ever felt pulled toward one comfort at one exact hour, right before your life quietly rearranged itself, you're not imagining the connection. Because the point was never the toast. It was always the messenger underneath it. Some part of you is already trying to keep you steady, long before the rest of you catches up to itself. So next time a craving hits from nowhere at an hour that makes no sense, don't rush past it. Sit with it instead. That first phone call, the one that started all of this, Marta knows exactly what it was about now. Do you know what yours was about yet? Subscribe to Angel Numbers Guru if you want more of these quiet threads pulled into the light. Marta still eats her toast some nights. Same counter, same hour. Not bracing anymore, just listening now.